fail. So welcome. Oh, well, no, I guess I'm showing it. It's Friday Night Comics, and you are at the Sequential Artists Workshop. Thank you for being here. We call it We Believe in Comics because this ritual was started by The Believer during the pandemic, the early days of the pandemic, The Believer magazine, and we borrowed it from them in 2021. So we've been going 3.5 years or something. Um, is that right? Yeah. And we're really happy you're here. Uh, so Sequential Artists Workshop is a 501(c)(3) nonprofit. I'll talk more about profits in a minute because anyway, it doesn't matter. And you can find our courses and other stuff at learn.sawcomics.org. Thanks for being here. Some courses we have coming up is Beth Tremblay's intensive memoir starts in February. It's a 3-month course. You can go find that at sawcomics.org. Next week in this slot, we have Jamar Nicholas coming back. He's calling it Ding Achievement Unlocked. So we'll see what that's about next week. Uh, Slides. There we go. There's Beth's slide. Also, excuse me, we have a reading coming up. It's a Zoom reading. It's all graphic medicine stories, stories from the front line of from nurses, doctors, and patients. And we're going to have a big Q&A at the end too. It's going to be really great, I think, February 19th, 6 p.m. You should be able to find that pretty easily on our website. Additionally, this week, Tuesday, in fact, we have Keith Knight coming. If you're not a member of one of our groups, then go to our website and go look for that page. It's on our blog and see how you can join in and hear Keith talk about his career and other things. Ramina Yi is going to do a course on comics layouts. We now have the date down. It's February 13th. That page will be up in a day or two. And drawing for drama, oops, with Sydney Davison is going to start pretty soon too. And Sydney's pretty intense guy with some pretty intense ideas about comics, and that'll be a really fun course. Oh, here's our donation page. It's now a big block of text, at least for today. It says, "Saw survives from your donations and tuitions. Thank you for donating to this workshop. It helps keep these workshops free. It helps us pay the artists." And then I have a little $600 because we crunched all the numbers last year. We found out that for all of Saw, for all of 2024, we lost $600, which actually is pretty good because we gave a lot away. And so we thought we were actually doing a lot worse. But your donations really, really do help, and there are a lot of ways to help Saw. We'll put that in the chat. Um, and we hope to be in the positive next year, but we don't feel too bad about being in the negative $600. So support us. Thank you for supporting us on these Fridays. That's a big one. And also you can go to our donate page. Okay, we're going to get going. Please, no inappropriate speech or imagery when we're doing our sharing section. We like to keep it PG-13. Please share on social media with the hashtag Friday Night Comics and use our @ Comics Workshop. I'll put Abby's, which is Mild Pain Art. I'll put that in the chat. And you can also find us at members.sawcomics.org. And also, we'll do a PDF of tonight's of work and look for that chat, those links in the chat. And we'll post it on Seesaw Comics at the end of the weekend, and you can see just an example of some of our work that way. So enjoy. I love this image, Abby. Reflection in motion. I don't know what it means. So I'm super excited for this workshop. I love your art so much. I'm so fond of you. I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to stop sharing if I can figure it out. There it is. And
Right.
yeah, so I don't know what reflection in motion means, but I know
Yes.
you got
And
something planned. Wow,
that's
you're
what
digging
we're
in.
here
All right,
for.
I'm gonna spotlight you and also you know how this works, I guess, but I'll just be in the chat sort of like, saying stuff, and if you need me, just holler. But here I am.
Yes. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. So my name's Abby Kacen. I also go by Mild Pain on the internet. And this workshop is called Reflection in Motion. I will dig into a little bit more on what that means. But just a little bit about me. I have been making zines and cartoons since 2017, doing a lot of DIY arts organizing. I make auto-bio and fictional comics in the traditional style using black and white and ink on paper for the most part. I like music. I kind of can play guitar, and I really like to run, which will be relevant for our workshop here tonight. And if you want to see me on the internet, Instagram, it's at mild_pain, or my website, mildpain.art. Um, I have a educational background in visual arts and storytelling. I got my BFA, and I have done a lot of community arts organizing, both as an artist, but also as a nonprofit worker, which is my daytime profession. And I have a self-published book, which I have here with me. It's called Sin the Sickos. I'm working on a sequel right now to this book, and that's my big project. I just finished up SAW's 6-month graphic novel intensive program, which really helped me out in staying on track with that project. But I also do these autobiographical digests called Mild Pain. So this is the Mild Pain series. Just released issue 4 in October of 2024. So it comes out twice a year, and those are the self-published works I have right now. Also organize like readings and comics clubs and all those great fun things. So this is kind of some of my work that will be in the theme of what tonight's workshop is about, reflection in motion. I often will make a comic that's about something that I'm dwelling on. Maybe it's a problem I'm trying to solve, or a memory or a feeling that I have, and I will often portray myself running or in some type of movement. I often make a lot of comics about walking because I like to walk as well. I feel like those are great spaces and times where you can unwind, feel connected to nature, into yourself in space. So this is kind of some examples of what I think about when I'm thinking about reflection in motion and how we can represent motion, which can be for artists a great way to just practice drawing figures in different types of movements, whether that's maybe it's an activity you really enjoyed long ago, a hobby you once had, or even something like having thoughts in the shower. So just anywhere where you think about thinking. So it is kind of our warm up for getting started with tonight's workshop. I want you all to just take some time to like write down or sketch, just spend like a minute on this real quick and think about what what movements get you thinking, and then where do you find yourself reflecting the most, and what is it that you're thinking about? So this is kind of setting up our comic where we have the motion, we're depicting the scene in which we're in, and what is it that we're feeling when we're doing these things and in these places. So I'll give everyone a little time to just think about that, and jot it down, and then we'll move into the drawing part.
Well, I think I just put all that in the chat, but I'll so
Great.
in case anyone.
I'll leave it up for a second so I can get my other camera set up over here.
Okay.
So, um, and then we're just gonna kind of jump right in. So,
I love
think,
this. I mean, it's so important to realize that like motion affects our mind, and our thoughts and our moods and all everything. Oh, don't give it away. Don't give panel 1 and 2 away yet.
um, is everyone? Are we ready? Does everyone feel ready to move on? Because I can.
I don't. I need that minute still, but I was
All right.
typing. But no, it's okay. I'm probably late. Um, and somebody in the chat says they're working on a dance graphic novel. That's great. Perfect
Ooh,
theme for
yeah.
them.
And I used to, when I was a kid, tried many different dance classes. Maybe I could consider that in my comic tonight. I haven't given too much thought yet what I'm gonna draw about.
Oh, really?
I have some notes of my own, but maybe it'll change. Keep it loose. Often my autobio comics and reflection comics are very spur of the moment, so I'll allow myself the freedom to just unload thoughts as they arise.
What I'm usually thinking about is comics. So anyway, move a muscle, change a thought, Carol says. That's great. Wow. Okay. Um,
All
so
right.
sorry if you want to call it that
Yeah,
done,
I think
you
it's
can
been
move
a
on.
good minute.
Thanks. Thanks for and Meredith says dancing gives me a break from thinking, which is a really nice idea
Oh,
too.
nice. So yeah, we're gonna break this down into a 4-panel comic for our workshop tonight. So this is kind of some prompts to get you going on panels 1 and 2. Panel 1, starting with what is a thought you have had before, or maybe you're having right now, given tonight's theme, and using those thoughts to depict yourself and your thought moving together. So that includes maybe a full body in the frame, maybe you're in a scene. So you can think about there's total freedom of maybe you're walking in a park, maybe it's just your body doing a motion, or you're in a car, like I said before, like in the shower, walking your dog, could be anything. And then as you move into panel 2, then you can move your motion and reflection deeper into your thought. Maybe your action sequence is changing around you. You could add more details to your surrounding to then represent what your inner thoughts are outside of you. And you can totally change your environment too. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on my 2 panels here and then see where we go.
Can we watch you draw?
Yeah, I've got my other.
I can remove because what I wrote, I just copied that list, so I can put
Should
that in.
I? I've got a list for the next 2 other panels. Should I share that and then we move into drawing?
Sure.
Okay.
And then I'll
Then
put
I
it in the
great.
chat. And
And I
maybe
can
we should do timed per panel or something. But anyway, when you bring up panel 3, I'll type it out.
yeah. And then so going into our last 2 panels here, panel 3, try
Oh,
and move yourself from one scene to another, kind of mirroring how our thoughts bounce around. So maybe you're in one motion or one scene, and then maybe you're in the same one or a different one. Maybe the scene has changed, but the thought has changed, or the motion has changed. So thinking about how by panel 3 has your setup and your action then changed in some way? What's the not really the conflict and resolve, but what's your setup, your startup potential energy moving into your kinetic energy? And then by panel 4, depicting how your movements might help determine the conclusion of your thought or your reflection. Where do you end up? How does it feel where you've arrived? And thinking about maybe your motion has stopped or has broken free in some way. There's all kinds of ways to interpret that.
okay. I'm getting this down. Um, okay. So I've got that down.
Great.
Um, and should we do this time it per panel, like maybe 5 minutes a panel or something like that?
Yeah,
And
that sounds
so I'll
good.
put, okay. So I'll have you unshare the screen anyway. Yeah. And then we'll spotlight your drawing self if I can find it.
Should I raise a hand on this one or
Um,
so
you
you're
should be able to find it. I mean, is it up yet?
yeah, I've got my
Oh yeah,
little
I see it. Okay. All right,
there we
yeah, I've
go.
just spotlighted it. And again, so we'll have 5 minutes a panel.
Can everyone see that? Pretty okay?
Test, visual, face.
Great. Just want to make sure this light rig that I have is strong enough.
I see.
Great.
Okay, so panel 1, I wrote it. What is a thought you have had or are having? Depict your thought while in motion. Include the full body or maybe the full scene you're in. Okay, cool. I was typing and not listening, so I'm hearing it for the first time. Um,
Yeah, so I've got my paper here, and Tom, I think this will be the first time you and most other people have seen what I've been doing lately with AutoBio. Normally, I work with ink, but lately I've been doing pencil drawings and just kind of treating my pencil as a permanent line and not trying to erase anything.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the softness of pencil. And yeah, I'm so used to you being a real inker.
Yeah, I go pretty ink heavy, so I'm just gonna consider my first panel here and the thought that I'm having, and starting with text, which is how I normally start a comic.
But just to keep us kind of on track, I'll see if the timer app is available. Nope, it's not. Oh, so you just start with the word balloon. That's really radical.
Yeah, I think with this type of reflecting I've been doing with the pencil, I haven't been doing very strict panel borders, which has been very freeing, and just kind of letting it float on the page and then going from there.
I'm gonna ask everyone what they're writing about, what kind of thoughts, what kind of reflection. It is true. I'm either thinking about comics or Saw most of the time because I can't think about the heavy stuff. And what are you writing? Whenever I'm trying to solve a problem, I run. Oh.
Yeah, I knew I would go to my default.
I'm gonna walk to the grocery store, I think. Hmm. Thoughts of my parents being alive, somebody says. Thoughts of my prop making job I need to start for my wife's kids theater group. Wow, that's really exciting. Wow, that's pretty intense. Feeding the evil wolf. Whoa. Yeah, noticing, choosing, feeding the good wolf, and then where? Oh, I see. That's the old that sort of Buddhist phrase about which wolf do you feed. I think Betsy Hudson says my thoughts would be that I'm a failure because I can't come up with an idea.
That's
How,
okay. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's you
yeah,
at your
right. And we can work through that by panel 4. We don't have to be thinking that thought anymore. I
yeah. So the motion doesn't even have to be necessarily driven, or the reflection itself doesn't have to be driven by the motion, but the thoughts therein.
yeah. Gail is listening to Barbara Streisand's memoir, so she's been thinking about that a lot. Robin says this is really funny and probably recognizable. I always start a run by uh, thinking about how much I don't like jogging, but the post-run clarity always outweighs the discomfort. Yeah, that's really well said. Yeah, yoga too, Sarah says. One thing about movement I was just thinking too is like I really love being on trains. Like as soon as I get on a train, my mind changes. And so it's like
Oh,
it's
that's
my
really cool.
not even my body has to be in motion, although that's better, but like just seeing the window, just seeing the landscapes go by and I'm not really drawing here. I'm just chatting. Sorry, chat. I mean, let me draw. I'm gonna go with Betsy's, actually. I don't have any ideas. I'm gonna start there because I don't have good ideas is sometimes what I think about, you know? Mhm.
Something else that we can think about too is like, how do we feel motion when we're drawing it? Is it adding some gestural lines here?
Hmm.
Kind of the kind of repeated drawings, the softer lines with comics. Something like that. It's kind of hard to tell using a very faint pencil, but y'all get the gist, right?
Hmm. You know how Jaime Hernandez draws people walking and how it sort of is that Archie style of
Yeah.
it's a real like effortless, carefree kind of walking and like it's fun to draw, but my body never feels that easy and carefree. And I like want my body to feel like that cartooning, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna draw that, well, roughly, but it's always much more heavy, my real body, as opposed to my Jaime Hernandez imagined body or something. I don't know, something like
We all wish we could live in the Jaime Hernandez drawing world.
that. I know, I know.
Ooh, someone happened to have a poem for this. That's great. That poem could be the comic.
I missed that. Is there a poem? Oh, Miles has a poem. Oh, cool.
I'm ready to start thinking about panel two here.
It's about time. I mean, it's a, we said 5 or 6 minutes, and it's been about that. So I'll post panel two in the chat again. Abby, are you one of these people who has similar experiences like when vacuuming or something like that? A lot of people are like, I have all my
Mm,
best ideas while vacuuming.
I wish. I think whenever I'm doing any kind of cleaning task, I'm so focused on the task.
Mhm.
So now we're going deeper here.
So panel two, I'm going to read it out loud because I forgot. Move your motion and your reflection deeper into your thought. What surroundings can you depict that reflect the emotions of your thoughts? Oh, cool. Add background details to your scene. Hmm.
Mm.
Move your. Hmm. I had a good idea today that while walking and moving, and it was very much tied to that, but it was a tiny bit vulgar. I'm gonna keep it off. I won't share it, but I'll do it anyway. It wasn't super vulgar, but it, it's probably PG-13 to be honest, but it's just a little vulgar. Um,
You can give us a censored version.
oh, I'll upload it to the PDF.
Lately, I've been drawing like really strange hands, but I kind of like them.
I saw on the one slide that you showed you this really extended hand. It seemed to be like disconnected from solidity.
Yeah, I don't know why it's become that, but um, kind of into it. Just very exaggerated form.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know what hands look like, but so now we're like, what does a hand feel like? And then that's what you're drawing, I think.
Yeah, I've had experiences while running before where something very like deep and unresolved kind of surfaces through your musculature and your connective tissue. And I think that's the direction I'm leaning in with here.
Hmm.
Just a kind of a repressed emotion or something that your body's response systems have just kept in the vault. But it can be good to release those things.
Yeah.
So my second panel here says, often the problem I solved was not what I had been thinking. The body, my deep tissues reveal hidden layers,
Hmm.
and my arm is sweating. Maybe those are the thoughts.
Hmm. And in your instructions for panel two, you said what surroundings can you depict and add background details. I'm not insisting that you do that. I'm wondering if
Oh,
you
I will be, that's for sure.
okay. Because I'm trying to do a little bit of that too. Because I think it's a really good instruction, right? To bring a little bit of the environment, especially if you haven't already.
Yeah. I've been kind of hinting at it, and I think I can go back into my panel one here and start to suggest a scene that would have come up. Or even just what other types of shapes like line, form, your panel
Hmm.
composition could bring you in deeper.
Yeah, it adds to the emotional layer. Huh? You have any friends in LA, Abby? You must.
I do. They are okay, which is good. I'm glad that they are safe.
We definitely had one member, one SAW member lose his home already.
Oh gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. He and his family are okay.
Glad they're okay.
Okay, I've got
It's
to.
so strange to be in one part of the country that's frozen and the other that is
I
on
know.
fire.
Yeah. For those moving quickly, I'm putting panel three, although maybe I'll put that in the chat. It says, panel three, move yourself from one scene to another to mirror how your thoughts bounce around. Oh, what a cool idea. Are you in the same scene or a different one? Has your motion changed or stayed the same? Oh, that's super interesting. Maybe you're moving faster or slower. Oh, a loon is in LA. I forgot. All the productions in the film industry have shut down. Well, of course they have. It didn't even occur to me.
I've made the mistake here where the paper I'm drawing on is smaller than my drawings themselves. So I'm gonna introduce a second piece of paper
Do
and then fix it in post.
you do that in your diary comments?
I do. I'll scan them, and then when I do the layout, if things happen on different sheets, then I'll compile them. But I've been playing with this freeform structure for not very long, so it's kind of fun to not hold myself back by the panel borders I had limited myself to.
Yeah. So you got rid of panel borders and you changed the pencil. I really like those pencil drawings quite a bit.
Thank you. So panel 3.
Someone else says an IMAX film producer friend of theirs lost their house too. Wow. Pacific Palisades lost everything. Posting some sharing in the link here. Panel 3. Put that back in the chat. All right, I got to get onto it. I'm stalling on panel 3 here.
Yeah.
Sometimes the simplest things are real revelations. Like my earliest comics were full of dialogue, but I rarely had people in motion, sometimes I just have them sitting around. And then at some point I realized like, oh, they should be like going somewhere.
Where would they go? What would they
Well,
do? Yeah, that's
yeah,
always even with like fictional stories and character writing, it's kind of interesting to see like what would my character do if they went here and did this?
Yeah. And then you get real playful with it too, right? And like they don't have to be even remotely in the same place from panel to panel. You can put them anywhere you want. It can be in outer space in one panel and then at the grocery store in panel two, and but still have the same dialogue is sort of my point. If if oh wow, another version of myself. How cool.
I'm thinking about the past and the present a lot. I think just because, as you know, I moved and went through a whole life change, and
Yeah.
thinking about how I've grown in life and how how does that affect me as I continue to move and change my either my location or job or situation.
Reflection, reflection.
Yes. Drawing is hard.
I tried to counter that, but you're like,
So, but also it's fun.
hmm, I like this meditation on the past and the future that you're doing. It is hard. After that conversation about hands, I drew the worst hand ever. And it wasn't on purpose. It was a real accident and it doesn't look good. So I'm trying to change it. And all right, so I'm going to put panel four in the chat, um, which says, depict how your movements might help determine the conclusion of your thought and your reflection. Where do you end up? How does it feel? Is that when you've arrived or where you've arrived or both?
Could be both.
Yeah. And Miles says, I've apparently never seen a car in my life, so I drew a toy one.
That's a great way to do that. I recently picked up a toy car to use as a reference for drawing
Yeah.
a car.
Yeah, yeah.
It's no different than any of those other drawing models.
Hmm.
Let's see. Landing now, depicting the conclusion.
It's funny because the I have a memory associated with learning how to draw a car, which was sort of it was years ago, decades ago. And I was outside of a bar where The Apprentice with Donald Trump was playing. And I was like, I don't want to watch this. And I went outside and just stood around and I looked at cars. I was like, oh. And I had a very natural revelation because I've never, like Miles, never looked at a car before. And I realized, like, oh, the wheel is like largely under the engine to support all that weight of the engine. Because I've always been drawing them wrong. Anyway, so now, like, when I think about drawing a car, I think of Donald Trump, and I have for 20 years, like, way longer than. Anyway, it's kind of a bummer. Um, oh well. Panel four. All right, so panel four, I will put that in again. And then I will also put our social media stuff. Do you move your body around, Abby, in certain ways if you're drawing a certain position? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you find yourself leaning a little or trying to position your torso in a way to remind yourself of a memory?
Normally when I'm drawing, I try to remind myself to not strain myself.
Mm,
Sometimes think if like trying to identify trends of like, am I leaning too far to the right? Am I leaning too far to the left? Which for other cartoonists maybe having to
right.
tackle things like recurring pain or chronic pain.
Right. Not, yeah.
Um, I always move around a lot when I work. Like right now I'm sitting, but I like to stand a lot as well. So when I stand and work, that always helps me feel like I'm focused. Where sometimes if I sit, maybe I allow myself to
Mm,
um, distracted, but depends on what I'm working on.
mm,
I'm gonna represent myself doing the thing that's super important, and I don't always do it as quickly as I should when I complete a run, but it's stretching.
oh, we draw the life we wish we had.
Maybe it'll inspire me. I've been getting better about it. It's important.
What's your favorite running spot?
Um, Typically it's just in my neighborhood. I I like to be able to go in, well, usually wherever it is that it's not too busy and not restricted by a lot of crosswalks or having to wait at lights. When I was living in Cincinnati, I had a really nice running path near my house.
Mm,
But where I live now in Athens, Georgia, I have always enjoyed my neighborhood runs because it's just a very easy, like walkable city, and the it's hilly but not too bad.
oh,
I definitely prefer running on this like on the sidewalk or on the street and outside than running, say, on a treadmill. But I do
mhm.
enjoy a trail run from time to time.
Cassidy asks if you prefer a big circle or a straight line back and there and back.
I like a big circle,
Hmm.
not like a track. Sometimes I get bored on the track. I used to be on the track team when I was in high school and always preferred the opportunity to go train on the cross country trails or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change the scene that I'm in too and include my handy dandy foam roller, my tool that helps me in life. I'm excited to see what everyone else has done because I think um, my always been my favorite part about saw workshops is just seeing what other people's ideas are.
Yeah, well, we can start can start doing that in a moment. I'm gonna put up our social media slash sharing link again. Let you finish that. Oh, look at that. What a nice comic.
Are you referring to my comic?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nice.
That's a great drawing.
Pretty happy do
I love the
helps.
hair in that one too. The hair is like really way up.
Yeah, just like with the vibe, the personality.
Yeah.
I
And
could
it's really,
we made a whole comic that is like hair as a character. We had a lot of discussions about hair in my saw group. I was last year now because it's 2025.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that hair in that first panel is there too. Yeah. Oh.
The running hair, and over here I've got the like. It looks like my eyebrows, but also I kind of see it as like narrowing eyes, like three dash lines.
I put it to the group, see if people want to share.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. So if anyone would like to share, we've got a little bit of time, you can raise your Zoom hand, which is sometimes under React and sometimes it's elsewhere. Um, and
Do we
then
want to remove the spotlight here?
yeah, and then I'll call. I guess we're ready. We've got some people showing up. Are you ready, Abby?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with Gail then. We'll go to Larned after that, Alun, Walter. Here we go. Here's Gail.
Hello, everybody. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, Abby. Okay, so I really did write all about Barbara Streisand, so you're all going to learn about Barbara Streisand and Yentl. Okay, lately I've been listening to Barbara Streisand's memoir on my ride home through Van Cortlandt Park. I loved the chapters about working with Donna Summer and Barry Gibb. I love those songs and albums, and I'm glad she liked working with and on them. The chapter about preparing Yentl was 2 hours long. That was just about preparing Yentl, by the way. There's another chapter about actually making Yentl. That's another 2 hours long. And then there's a chapter about the reception to Yentl. That is 1 hour long. Okay. Um, she did all sorts of research, including talking to some rabbis about Talmud. She had a lot of trouble convincing uh, mostly Jewish studio executives to let her make this movie because they thought it was too Jewish. She wanted to cast Richard Gere and Carol Kane, but for various reasons had to go with Mandy Patinkin and Amy Irving. Irving was, quote, wonderful, but Patinkin, quote, made my life miserable. Which makes me sad because I love Mandy Patinkin, but apparently he's a real jerk to work with, or he used to be before he became a lovely and funny grandpa on TikTok. Okay.
Didn't know that.
They eventually gave her the green light, the studio executives, as long as she agreed to sing. The original script was not a musical; it was just a play, like a drama. But they told her she could make it if she sang. Quote, "I had to sing for my supper." All right, that was
That's
fun.
awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Gail. And if anyone hasn't seen, Carol Kane is on Star Trek sometimes these days. I forget which series.
Oh.
Yeah, they gave her a role on one of those new series. I can't remember. I I'll remember and I'll put it in the chat, but somebody else will catch it. All right, we'll go to Larned next. Thanks, Gail.
Okay, panel one here. We just recently had an ice storm and a snowstorm, and I was really worried about slipping and falling on the ice. So that's my action figure
That's great.
for slipping and falling. So in the second panel, I've decided probably that I won't leave the house probably for the entire winter. And you can see the house in the corner there in an icy driveway there. And then in the next panel down here, that that was my transition panel. I actually did go out and move very slowly on my hands and knees on the ice. And of course, in the last panel, wound up slipping, falling in a drift of snow, just what I didn't want to do. So those are my action figures.
Those are great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'll have to do this workshop in the summer and the winter.
Yeah, gotta have a full seasonal sweep.
to
Hey.
find- Okay, we'll go to Alan
Oh,
next.
sorry.
No
So,
problem.
oops, my camera's oddly positioned. That's okay. I'm going to share my screen anyway. So
Okay.
yeah, I did mine on my computer as usual, and it was kind of hard to
There you go.
do it in motion because it's largely about the fact I don't move as much as I should. But anyway, so yeah, so I have the first panel. Dang it, I really need to start working out regularly again. Which is true. I did, like, for a while, I was working out almost every day. I have not been for a long time. But I want to do it first thing in the morning, and I just haven't been able to make myself get up early enough. The motion, since I don't move much and don't work out, is just me walking around the neighborhood, which I do because one of the kids I work with has gotten me back into playing Pokemon Go, so that's why I'm on my phone there. But yeah. Okay. Tonight I'm going to go to bed early, and tomorrow I'm going to get up early and work out. I've been sleeping in a lot lately since I haven't been working. The film production's kind of shut down over the holidays, and now with the fire, so anyway. And then the next morning. Dang it, I really wanted to get up early today and work out. And you can actually see my like exercise equipment to the right, which that's actually where it is. I do have it in the bedroom. I just have not been using it because I keep it. So anyway, there's my comic about my not getting enough motion, I guess. Oh well.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, it's right there, Alan, waiting for you. Let us know how it goes. Thanks. We'll go to Walter next, and then A, and then Nazanin. See if Walter's ready. There we go.
I'm good.
Hi, Walter.
My giant sketchbook. All right, so this is just me walking, which is, I also do that daily. I'm retired with lots of time for stuff like taking walks and thinking. But my wife is much younger and has a long time to go in her career before joining me. So in the meantime, I need to find ways to fill all that time. Maybe I'll come across one.
Oh,
Very
I love
And
that. I love that jungly third panel.
yeah, that's all the choices. Unfortunately, most of the volunteering work is the same time that I would have with my wife. I'm trying to find something I can do while she's working. So that's the struggle.
Wow.
And did I black out for a moment or did we not see Abby's yet?
Oh,
You want
I can share it real quick.
Sure, I'll share. I'll
I
spotlight
can
you
share.
real fast.
Should we? Okay, here we go. Oh, there we go. Panel 1. Whenever I'm trying to solve a problem, I run. I think I would know how to read the comic I just wrote. Often the problem I solve was not what I had been thinking. The body, my deep tissue reveals hidden layers. I feel like I'm connecting to maybe being outpaced by another version of myself. Happy or sad, heavy or light, easy or hard. I always feel better at the end. And there is me stretching.
I love that.
Thank you. Also, I will take a brief moment to briefly mention a different comic I did make similarly about running, where Tom, you're in this comic.
What?
Tom Hart.
Where? Tom
I,
Hart
I
brings
was
up writing songs as a means of expression that frees up the inner critic. Wow.
yeah, so that's in Mild Pain 4. That's from the Terrible Anvil podcast that you did. So I was listening to that podcast while running, so
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And
I'll have to send it to you.
yeah. Do I already have that? Maybe
I don't think so.
when did that one come out? All right, I'll order it. I'm writing that down. Meanwhile, we'll go to Ahmad. Thanks, Abby.
Hey
That's
everyone.
honoring.
Hello from Australia, and I have my daughter Amaya here with me as well, joining today. She'll thank you.
When I'm solving a hard problem, I like to walk to focus. The lakes and rivers calm me, but I still can't finish my math homework.
That's
And
great.
then that's me fainting in bed.
Thank you so much.
Oh, wow.
Here's
Thank
my so this is probably a fictional place, a blend of where I grew up as a kid and a little bit of where I am right now. But basically, I'm taking a walk. What lovely weather. And I'm just observing, trying to be mindful in my walk, looking at nature, leaves, uh, rainwater falling. Then I'm thinking of the world is so vast. We're a small part of it. And finally arriving back home, well, back to my small part. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that really encapsulates it, Abby, right? It's kind of like the way a haiku often has like large and small at the same time. That little thanks, Iman. Okay, we'll go to Nazanin next. Let's see when Nazanin is ready. We'll share.
Hello.
Hi, are you?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I think I missed today's point on drawing comics. I was focused on the thought I had today, and before I was going to sleep, I thought about my best friend. If she ever knows that how much I'm proud of her work. So I did this, that if she ever won a prize in the thing she loves the most, she knows that how much I'm proud of her and I love her, and this is the transition that I'm running to her. Yeah, that's it. I think I did the wrong comic.
It's still great though. There's a lot of motion, there's feeling.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I love today's, the thing you said. Actually, I love them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nazanin. Okay, we'll go to Ray next, and then there we go, and Joanne after that.
This is mine. And the first panel, can y'all see it?
Tiny bit blurry.
Oh, wait.
Have a blur on?
There we go. I think.
Oh, and Ray is now muted. Let me see if I can get them unmuted. Not sure why that happened. Not really hearing them.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Now, okay, so I'm saying I'm with my dog, and anyone who lives in the South might recognize a Southern cemetery. Like there's a Civil War soldier with a cannon. I don't know if there were just a bunch of cannons, but cemeteries all seem to have them. I don't know anybody here, but the family names are familiar. And the next panel, nice thought, isn't it, Harry, that we might be gently lifted by angels into heaven. And then I'm back home. When I thought that God would swoop in to save us from ourselves, I could sleep better at night. And then in the last one, well, youngster, we may as well count our blessings and be a good neighbor, right?
Beautiful comic. Thank you.
That's another one that went big and small, like thinking about the cosmos a little and then just focusing down. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah. Thanks. I don't know. You probably couldn't tell, but that's a news guy on the TV.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Ray. We'll go to Joanne next. Here we go.
So I like to hike, but I haven't been doing very much of it. So I was just like a big cloud over my head, and I feel like I have these big boulders, boulders on my back. And oops, this was gonna do something to me. Cancel. Yeah, so I live in Arizona, so there's always lots of cactus. So I start out like really heavy and kind of like weighted down, and then I start to feel better, but I still feel really heavy and pulled backwards. But I always go, why aren't I doing this more often? And I was sort of enjoying kind of trying to draw the landscape on this one. And then on the third panel, I was, that moment where you're just in this amazing location, like, between two huge canyon walls, and my mind's starting to feel free and I'm starting to breathe. And then on the last one, I'm sort of at the top. And then that's just lots of, I'm not thinking actually at that point. I'm just enjoying it.
Peace.
Yeah, peace.
That's
Yeah.
great. I love those depictions of the mountains.
Yeah. Love that. Thanks, Joanne. We'll go to Nancy next, then Gabriel. There we go.
Okay. I'm not very good at this.
Oh.
I'm technology and hammered in. I'm trying to draw more. So this may not be very readable. My first one is, and I'm going through something emotional. The first one is I decided to take my dogs for a walk. And I'm trying to do sort of a minimalist thing. So it's just my foot and my little dogs. And I'm walking up to the barn. And then the next one, I'm closer to the barn. And I have my little dogs. And one of my horses comes over to say hi. And I think I've picked up a chicken by then following me. And I'm thinking about how beautiful and quiet and peaceful it is. And then this one, 3 is me thinking about how quiet it is and how empty I feel and how lonely I feel because some things are going on in my life, and it makes me think about who's missing. And I have kind of an expression of that as my horse has turned his back to me. So that's me, and I'm sitting crying, surrounded by those little boxes that you get when your dog gets cremated. And I'm thinking about, although I have my little dogs here, I'm missing my big dog, Eva. So, but to be fair to me, she just passed yesterday. So, but this brought me pretty deep into emotion. So it's not very lighthearted, but my chicken is there.
Okay, you sharing, Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy. That's really
I
wonderful.
don't usually overshare, so this is unusual.
This is what comics is for.
Yeah, I don't call that oversharing. Thank you, Nancy. And actually, that's a good reminder. I'll put it in the chat one last time to share on social media or any other place so we can see these later as well. Thank you, Nancy. We'll go to Gabriel next, then Chris. Else.
Hello.
Hi.
So my typical physical activity, I'm ashamed to admit that I'm someone who doesn't really get out as much as he would like to, but I realize that I do have a very typical physical activity, which is walking in circles in empty rooms, thinking about whether or not I should do something. So this is based on something that actually kind of happened this afternoon. It said, so I just started taking I took a crash course in comedy sketch writing, and I've been doing that kind of as a hobby. And I came up with an idea that I was debating with earlier because it's so personal. So the first one is me just kind of standing and wondering, would I come off as a dick if I write a sketch about this? And then you see me in the next one just kind of pacing around an empty house, walking past a lamp and walking through doors and walking past my cat on the bed. And this huge thought balloon or word balloon is like, on the one hand, it's honest. On the other, I'm not immune to unchecked ignorance. On the other hand, I think the subject is relatable enough that it wouldn't be a problem. On the other hand, it may be too subtle. On the other hand, and on the other hand, on the other hand, on the other hand, because as Tevye says, there's always another hand. The cat just looking back on meow because she misses my mom. And third panel is me finally walking up to my computer and saying, I guess I won't know until I write it. Better get started. And as I sit down, I think to myself, after I've written more notes, I gotten a second opinion from Viv, my wife, and Evan, and pick the right video to play in the background, and check my email, and DeviantArt, and for Affinity, and Peed, and Eaton. And so even when I get started, I'm procrastinating. And that's where which is usually where I wind up.
It's the way the work goes.
Thanks for sharing.
Great example of that. Thanks, Gabrielle. Okay, we'll go to Chris.
Yeah, I sympathize with Gabriel. I'm sure a lot of people do. I often have too many things to do, and so my thought was discombobulated what to do. I like to run because this always helps. So I go running, and ideas just start popping into my head spontaneously, and then I get just instant clarity. Like, yes, I know what to do.
That's
Love
awesome.
that.
Oh,
Thanks.
Instant clarity, right on.
Sometimes it
Thanks,
works.
Chris. Okay, we'll go to Miles next. Here we go.
So I posted that I had a poem about this, and my poem was about basically being an adult that doesn't drive. So this first panel is walking makes you stop and think. Makes you fall behind like you've always done. And that's my toy car. Because I spend more time thinking about toy cars than real ones. And then makes you fit, makes you stronger. And this is the obligatory me checking out my butt in a window because that's the thing I always do. And then sorry. This last one is makes you stranger, and it's the second panel, but it's a little alien instead of a person.
Cute.
Cool. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Miles. Amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, Jenny Servakas. Hello, Jenny. Are you there?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see me or not.
No, you just disappeared.
Oh, shoot. Okay, wait.
Nope. I'll remove the spotlight off.
Oh, crap. I'm hitting the start video thing, but select a camera. Maybe that's it.
Maybe you want to give it a moment or two, and then we'll go to Judith and then come back to you.
Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me select my camera.
Yeah, you're blinking out in it. You're blinking out consistently out. Let's go to Judith and Jenny if you can figure it out. By the way, hi Jenny.
Okay.
Nice to see you. Anyway.
Yeah. I did do a comic. I'm not like doing this because I didn't do my homework, but
well, we really want to see it. So see if you can get that camera started out while we go to Judith. Okay. Here's Judith.
Could I share my screen?
Yeah, I think I've got that set up for you.
Let me see if I could do this. There's two things I was going to show. One is, so I've done a lot of stuff about action and like yoga and things like that. This is like just looking at people's feet when they're doing yoga. And always when there's a marathon, I'll go out and just draw the people running. So that's kind of fun. And I did a whole book of etchings, and the end result was that regular exercise helps. You could tell how long ago this is because this woman has like a little, what were those called? Those little, I can't remember even what it was called.
Is it an iPod or a Walkman?
Oh, it was a Walkman, right? No, iPod is not that old, but anyway. And then there's this one. I hope this is okay. She tried to be legendary and exercise faithfully. So now I'm going to stop share and I'm going to show, hold on for a second. So I haven't been, like everybody, I haven't been exercising as much as I think I should, but this was very, it was very encouraging and motivating for that. So I have this runner over here is thinking, I used to ride my bike my whole life. And over here, This one is riding towards the future.
That's
We
cool.
have volleyball, and we have Tai Chi, and we have karate, and we have dancing, right? And this is me now. I'm trying to get back to doing all this stuff after the what to say, after the immobility of COVID, of never going out of the house. And I find that that particular triangle pose, I think it's called half moon
being
pose.
recorded.
I'm really wanting to, and so, but I go from karate saying "hiya," if anybody's ever done that, to oof, which is really more the reality of it. Anyway, so there you go.
Great gestures.
I hope that this will be the beginning of a whole new exercise regime.
Those drawings are great, and a lot of love for them in the chat. People are really loving those. Thanks, Judith.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention to get everyone motivated to.
That's exactly
but,
what you meant.
It was not. But
I'm not done with it yet, but I can just show you the preview.
All right, we got a handful more. Let's see, Christian. We'll check in on Jenny after this too. Christian, what do you do?
I'll show you a preview of it. That's it.
Gotta move to fight a dragon.
Yeah.
That's
great. All right. Keep doing it. Thanks, Christian. I think we got Jenny now, so we're gonna go to Jenny. Thanks for that, Christian. Here we go. Jenny is on screen.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I did 6 panels instead of 4 panels.
I think you got a blur filter on though. Can you turn that on?
No. Okay.
Always
Crap.
something, right?
Let me see if I can put it right next to my face. Can you see? No. Okay. Oh, as you can see, I'm not the most technically.
Yeah, I think the blur settings under video.
Oh, no, we lost the video.
Under video,
Well,
choose video settings.
I'll rave about
Video.
Jenny Zervakis to the crowd while you're there. Jenny has a wonderful book out called Strange Growths that you should all go check out. I'll see if I can find a link.
Okay, so I'm under video. Display names. Da 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 da. Where
No.
would that be for the? Oh, advanced maybe.
I'm not sure. It's usually adjust background effects or something like that.
Okay. Did it work?
No, still blurry.
Okay. Well, I could tell you about my my comic. So this is about swimming instead of walking. I've been thinking a lot about movement. I have been a lifelong walker, but for various reasons, I'm doing a 2-day-a-week water aerobics. And it's not just about the comic's not just about movement, it's also about transition. So like the transition of being dressed to undressed, to being warm to cold, to going from air into water. And then for me, the most important thing was the transition of feeling very weighted and becoming weightless by going into the water, which is why I'm loving water aerobics right now. And so this is just a sketch of me doing my water aerobics, but I'll try to post that somewhere else. I apologize that I can't figure this out. The blurriness.
It's awesome, Jenny. Abby, do you know Jenny's work?
I don't think I do, but I'm about to.
I'll send you some links. It's really wonderful. It's nice to have you here, Jenny.
Thanks. That's so hard to do it on a Friday, but I always feel like I learn so much every time I sit in on one of these, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, Fridays are weird for everyone, but we do it anyway. Okay, we'll go to Sophia next. Thanks, Jenny.
Hi, it's my first time ever joining. So I had a lot of fun. It's nice to meet you, Abby. I'm also a runner, so this is panel 1. Just like the difficulties of trying to get to the top of a hill of a dune. So I try to make it look, oh, I cannot see. I try to make it look really steep. And I tried to play with scale too. So I tried to make myself like really tiny at the top of the hill. and I had fun with that. That's always fun to make a figure like really minimalist, tiny. And then the relief of getting to the top of the hill. And then I really struggle with the extreme foreshortening that I really admire in a lot of comics. So I tried to force myself to foreshorten my leg here, and I think I did a good job with that. And I like the braids kind of bouncing around to show the motion.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you. Okay, Sarah Cox next. Let's see your place. There we go. Are you unmuted yet?
Hey,
There we go.
I did mine on basic yoga, which can go into this big territory, but mine just stayed with being pretty stiff. So that happens too. So it says at yoga, I start stiff as a board. It's coming out the right way for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. I start stiff as a board and I squeeze my eyes tight to smush all the thoughts. I can't concentrate. My shirt keeps riding up. Can I yank it down without falling over? And then the teacher comes and puts her hands on your back, and it's so nice and so alarming because I'm being touched. And then at the end, a little bit of actual relaxation with happy baby pose. Please don't make me leave.
Those are great.
Yeah, that makes me miss happy baby pose. It's been a while.
It's really nice.
Thanks,
Go
Sarah.
back there anytime, Tom.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Abby. Permission to do that. Okay, we'll go to Rebecca next. Here we go.
Hello, you can go first.
Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the mom.
It's her birthday today.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
So for my birthday, I get to show you my stuff.
Yeah.
So I live on an island. We live on an island here, and so my favorite exercise is walking by the sea. So on a day, and I link them to sunshine and moonlight and light and darkness. So I put here walking on the cliff in the early morning, and on early morning, I am usually thinking good thoughts about all the things I'm going to get done that day and all the things I can accomplish, and it's all positive. And then later in the night, when I come back, maybe there'll be a very little light, so it's pretty dark. There might be a new moon. And when it's dark, it seems to inspire sort of darker thoughts. So things like things I didn't get done, things I did wrong, so failures. So there's this feeling of not so good. The date was not that great. And then on another night, it could be like a 3/4 moon. And if I'm lucky and see a fisherman coming in with his last catch and see someone who's accomplished something, I might start to get inspired by that sort of thing and start thinking about, well, maybe today I did something right. Today, maybe I cleaned my house. So I'll give myself a treat. And my treat will be that tomorrow I'll give myself some time to do some art or some music or do something that I enjoy. And then my favorite times are when it's a full moon night, especially if it's a clear night. It's like my thoughts are also clear and there's a lot of light from the moon and it's quiet and dark and there's nobody out there. And so that's a time when my reflections are usually sad and happy. Happy in that I've known such wonderful people in my life, and sad that many of them have passed and many of them are far away. So on full moon nights, it's a time for revisiting people, but also saying goodbye to them, especially if I happen to see a ship sailing away. I have a feeling that they're sailing away again, but I know they'll come back next month and I can see them again and they'll sail away again. So it's like my moods are all tied to the light, the darkness, the sun and the moon. And they're inspired and they're triggered by, I think, the action, being by the water, hearing the noises, but also walking along the water. And it's a wonderful feeling. And thank you for the opportunity to do this.
Thank you for sharing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, really great.
Okay, so this is something that happened today. The first panel says, while I was doing Romanian deadlifts, I had this thought. I should start a fight club for menopausal women. The second panel, I'm thinking we could get together once a week to spar. Our patron saint would be Megan from Bridesmaids. And if you've seen that film, you'll know why. And then the third panel, I'm leaving the gym. I'd need insurance. After all, I'm a middle-aged lady, not Tyler Durden, who's the guy from Fight Club. The fourth panel, I'm walking home and I'm texting my friend. And the name will be the Old Broads Fight Club. And she responds, where do I sign up? And then there's an asterisk on broads. And I wanted to say, make sure trans broads are broads. I wanted to clarify that as well.
Excellent. Let us know how the Fight Club goes.
I'll let you know.
Totally. Really great. Thanks so much. And I'm going to put one more reminder to share these later so that we can have access to them all later because it's just so great. Hania, if you are ready, we'll go to you next. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Are you able to unmute? Let me see. Try again.
Hello,
That did it.
everyone. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my first time here, and I thank you all. Here is my 4-panel comic. Here is me thinking about how to be a more socialized person, and I'm thinking about people, the world, and how they work. And when I have no idea to what to do, I said no idea, so let's start dancing. So I play the music and start moving around. And here, third panel, I feel more comfortable with myself when I start dancing. So it seems like everything's gonna be easier for me, and I feel more comfortable with myself and with another people. And at the end of that, I said, okay, we are all humans. Stop thinking too much about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really love that one. Thank you. Okay, we've got 3 more, Abby. We've got Paula, Edgar, and Alice, then we'll finish up there. So Paula, if you are here.
I did it. Let me.
Oh, I think Paula got muted again. Let me see if I can unmute her.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's me as a baby eating the food, me cooking, tossing, food and eating, and this is me doing on my phone, because on my phone quite a lot. So it's me, myself. So yes.
Those are great pages.
Yeah, I love those
Thank
drawings.
you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Paula.
everyone. It's really good. Everyone's work's amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Paula. Be well. We'll go to Edgar.
Well, thank you, Tom, and I appreciate Abby the inspiration. Let me show you my page. I call it artistic conversations and movements which shape my thoughts. The first panel, while participating in an acrylic painting workshop, I call out to the instructor as I pour over several boxes of paint tubes. Hey, Alex, I need some colors that are tortured. And that's serious artiste Edgar. And Alex says, try fluorescent red or yellow. That's perfect. Musician Rocky Erickson was psychedelic. So then we go to the second panel. I use my palette knife to carve into the troubled purple painted background surrounding Rocky in Austin, Texas, circa 1990 through 1993, when I was stationed at Bergstrom Air Force Base. And there I am carving into Rocky's picture on a mini easel. I never met Rocky, but he eventually came back from his mental illness to perform his music. But I needed to balance Rocky with the poignant musical presence and extreme kindness of singer-songwriter Jonathan Richman, who was touched when I told him my brother Frazier played Jonathan's songs, Angels Watching Over Me, yeah, for my mother before a cancer operation. She lived. And you can see on the canvas the black shirt of Rocky at the top. And then we see Jonathan with a peaceful light blue background. And he's singing his song, Ancient Long Ago. In the last panel, after this workshop, I must walk in freezing weather to see the new play, Who Cares? The Caregivers Interview Project at a church, the Universalist National Memorial Church, and I'm seeing in the dark, hope it's worth it as I walk on ice and snow. Little do I know how powerful the experience will be. And I have a special treat for you. This is the canvas that I worked on yesterday. And there's Rocky Erickson of the 13th floor elevators. And not a great, but a okay Jonathan Richman picture. So I do what I say. So
Edgar always surprises me. I didn't.
What? How so today?
I just didn't know you had a Jonathan Richman connection in addition to all these other connections you bring up pretty much every week. That's
I
so
do.
funny.
I hadn't seen him in a decade, and he says, "Hi, Edgar. How's it going?" He's friendly with everyone he meets, and he has a million people that love him.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a stonemason back home now, I
Yes,
hear.
yes. He gave me his card. In fact, I told him I lost his other card. So he says, I'll give you 2 cards, Edgar, in case you lose one.
All right. Edgar,
Thank
thanks so
you.
much.
My pleasure, Tom. Thank you,
All
Abby.
right. We'll go to
Thank you.
Alice. This will be our last one. Hi, Alice.
Okay. So these are the first two. I don't know if you can see them, but at first I love to go out kayaking. So at first I'm always tense, like I still have everything on my mind. I'm angry because I had to unpack. I'm dragging the kayak to the water and I'm saying, oh my God, I have to get out of here. And then the second one, I'm paddling and I just get so connected with the birds, the ocean, the fish, and so I start losing whatever it was that was stressing me out. And then here I am kind of passed out in my kayak. And then at the end, I just come back and I'm freezing cold. And after doing all that, I completely forget what I was stressed about to begin with. I don't know if it's because I'm cold or I had a good time or whatever, but it works out really well for me.
You left it on the water.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Alice.
Thanks, Alice. I'm gonna spotlight Abby again. Yeah, we didn't have that was like our only boat. Maybe we had maybe had another boat. I don't remember, but it's a great what? Do we have another one?
I think that was the only boat one
Yeah. Oh, that's
for
so great.
watercraft.
I love these sessions, Abby, and thanks so much for giving us a chance to think about movement and how it affects, well, how it affects who we are, which is, in the chat, a lot of people were like saying you could do comics about anything, and because somebody was like, I have no ideas, and or I forget exactly, but there was a little like protesting, but this this made me definitely think that like, we're always just expressing this human story, right, that we're existing in, and this was one great way to do it. I'm going to be thinking about this one a lot. Yeah, this was awesome.
Yeah. Happy to be here as always and to share. And yeah, seeing everyone's comics is always the best part. So thank you, everyone.
Will you hold up your comics again
Yes.
I'll put in the chat where we can get them.
Yes. Sid and the Sickos is fictional, and then the Mild Pain series. If you want to read my comic about Tom, it's in Mild Pain form.
That's not really
Comic
necessary.
the Tom included comic, the Mild Pain series is all auto bio, similar to the comic I made today, and you can find that via my Instagram or website, Mild Pain or mild_pain, Instagram, mildpain.art, the website.
Awesome. I just put that in the chat. And you're so prolific. I mean, you do those series and then you do those diary comics, and it's super awesome. I'm gonna ask everyone to unmute. Let's see, can they do that? Yeah. And give you a round of applause. Thanks, Abby. It's so nice
Thank
to
you,
chat with you, and
Abby.
it's so nice to be together.
Thank you, Abby.
I hope everybody has a warm or nice
Thanks,
Thank you.
weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week for
Everybody.
Jamar and Nicholas.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Abby,
Thank
so
you.
great being in touch. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.